Coming to you on another AMC video. Before I forget, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for educational and informational purposes only. And if you like this video, definitely subscribe and do a thumbs up and comments on if you are in the AMC movement or if you are buying more shares. I have a lot of information to go over, and a lot of information, it could be good information and it could be bad information on the AMC movement. But let's get into this video and stay to the end, and when I will talk about why I'm still very bullish onto the AMC movement. Let's go on to this. One thing, I have just got a Paul, I'm not sure if or Peter, he just basically said this, and I'm gonna get my machine to read this, and you guys can put a comment in there if you like that or not. I'm not a really good reader on the spot. That's the reason why I'm doing this.
I hope everyone's holidays are safe and happy. It's been a challenging year, and a few days rest and family bonding is definitely welcome. Seeing some information flying around that net and think it's worth remarking on. In 2021, AMC's total volume was $28.7 billion. The float is only $514 million. That means AMC's annual volume was at least 57 times the float. By comparison, TSLA's ratio was 7 times, Nvidia was 3.5 times. Palantir was 7 times. In what universe is that degree of volume normal? When I noted the high volumes in the spring, I made the assumption the float was underreported, i.e. naked synthetic shares must be out there. I still believe that. But even if that is not the case, it is clear evidence high-frequency trading on the stock is out of control. HF traders are not retail, and since AMC CEO AA has said publicly that retail own at least 80% of the float, and retail traders have on the whole been buying and holding, and buying more, Fidelity daily odd lot data shows buys outnumber sells by 2 to 1, the majority of that volume must be HF trading. And given the high dark pool utilization for most of the year and especially since June, it is highly likely dark pool utilization has been suppressing prices, as noted by the head of the NYSE back in May. Throw in the media bias. See my recent post on WSJ AMC article, the astonishing amount of consistent FTDs reported by the SEC, and one can only conclude there is a lot of odd things going on with AMC. One would hope that TTCC, SEC and now DOJ are working to resolve this, as from my perspective it feels like the size of irregularities might be enough to constitute a serious systemic risk to the global market.
Wow, that is from Peter Hann, and that is really interesting because he's basically saying because of there's so much trading going on, he is believing, he has not any evidence, but he's believing that there is naked shorting going on in the background, and that is the reason why there's so much problems happening. And he says this is a global problem. There's a lot of people that have been saying that a global problem has been occurring. And when we have now the Evergrande situation occurring, and even now Turkey has even problems over there in their market as well, there is a issue occurring. There is something brewing, and we don't know when it's going to pop, but we know there's something that's happening. Let's move on. What else we have here? The next financial year, analysts are expecting that business will report sales of $4.9 billion with so that is close to $5 billion. They're talking about that they're going to be having even a $5 billion into sales. And everyone's saying this company's going bankrupt. This company's going bankrupt. How is it this company's going bankrupt when they're having a $5 billion in revenue coming into? That is amazing to me, and itches my head when we have to say there were $5 billion coming into revenue, and it's what I'm getting out of it. It's a quarter. Even I think my next one is talking about Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been, they're saying $1 billion into Spider-Man. $1 billion, and that is for the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter. Well, you'll hear people saying, oh, well, that's just revenue. Yes, that's revenue. That's not profitability. And AMC is still not in the profit. But with all this data coming out and all these analysts coming out and saying that AMC is bringing in more sales, that means it has a higher chance and a higher potentiality that we will see profitability. It's basically given onto the business. When you want to have a profit, you first have to have revenue. If you don't have any revenue, you're never going to get profit. So what they're doing is actually doing a business plan. Let's move on. I think this is great news. $1 billion, and I think I even read in there another person was talking about having $1 billion, and that's in 10 business days. That is mind-boggling. What's the flow? We're going to go over the AMC flow on what we see here is on the 20 strike price on the calls on $25. We even see the $30 strike price. But we have shorts on the $10. So there's a lot are going into the bears. The bulls. The bulls are coming and buying a lot of calls. That is a great sign. And here we even have 145. Wow. So $25, $30. And there's more onto the calls. So the calls meaning we are going on uptrend. Let's move into the history. The history on Thursday, that was our Friday, we had 100,000 more calls than puts. But there's big money betting on this going up. Let's see what we had on Thursday. And I was going to say Friday, but Thursday, we have still, the interest is still very low. I am not understanding why the interest is so low. They're just trying to pile in all these shorts, very much so. Now, I hear a lot of people saying Ortex doesn't give us all the data, but it does give us a data. It gives us some data. And then we're hearing Ortex gave shorts. We have a short call, and then we had another short call. So let's look at this. And we had a couple short calls that never came up. And that, let's just put this into perspective. We had a short call right here that Ortex was calling and saying it is a type 3. Well, within 2 days, it had 2.8% profit from doing that. We had another one, a short call, and it was a negative 8%. So when they're saying there's a short call, and there's some people saying, oh, that doesn't mean anything, Ortex's data is not correct. But I agree, but let's look into this a little bit more. Let's see. When we go after, was it January, or after that squeeze that we had, that gamma squeeze, we can see right here we had a gamma squeeze situation. We had a couple short calls. Exactly the same. We had 1, we had 2, and then right here, 1, 2, then it started bursting. It went up. Right here, it had the high. It burst. Same thing. We had 1, we had 2, and then we had 2 more. The pattern on the Ortex. Is this a coincidence? It could be. But what I'm pointing out is Ortex is basically saying there's a pattern here. It's calling a couple times, and after that, the pattern is basically saying the same thing. What we have, it was 11% profit, same sort of almost the same one. Right here was 24% negative. Very similar. Very similar. Look at this. The percentage is totally different, but I'm just saying, you had a profit, you didn't have a profit. Profit on the Ortex, or is it? Oh my gosh. This video is going to be really long, sorry. No profit. It was negative. So what I'm pointing out is Ortex was saying they had the same movements on those two days as same as what we were seeing right now. Then we got the two calls, same as what we're seeing right now. The two calls right here, 1, 2. Ortex is basically saying the data is showing there's something happening. And let's look at the chart right now. So this is the daily on the 5-minute candles. You can see it went down hardcore. We had a very hardcore buy, and it started popping up, and it basically hit top. We're still having a signal on a sell signal, not a strong signal for a buy signal. And let's look at the 30-minute chart. This is the head and shoulders point. And why I'm getting into this is really interesting. These signals right here, the buy, and a buy, the sell. Why I'm pointing these out is I'm not making these up. This is a computer-generated system showing to buy AMC. And where I'm seeing the computer keeps on coming back and saying to buy AMC at a very strong point right here in the $26.85. And it's right in here all the time saying buy in the daily right here, buy right here, buy right in here, and we had a buy right here. Very much, and this is just unbelievable. Right here is and I will remove this, okay, we'll hide it, and then you can see the same signal right in here. It's just unbelievable how much it's exactly the same signal. And I'm like, wow, this is just crazy. On the signal, it's really, really similar. Like, it's blending right together on the buy. We have the head, we have the shoulder, left shoulder, head right here. We have the right shoulder. And after that, my software is basically saying we should be coming back down here to touch the same point. And this is going to make it even a stronger point. It's going to make it strong, and that's going to boost out. I'm not just doing this. This is my software basically saying all the stuff. They're just pointing this stuff out. Crazy. Could it be a coincidence? Could be. Could it be something in there? I don't know. Let's look at the daily candle. The daily candle is still showing a buy signal. Still showing buy signal, saying like, hey, there's something going on, buy signal in there. We still are showing an uptrend. We are still showing that we're going uptrend. And we're still showing that the money flow is starting to come in there very strong. This is just, am I over-analyzing this way too much, looking at the positive sides way too much? Definitely put a comment in there into, yeah, Ryan, you're way too much onto the positive side. You're way too much looking into this positive. Am I going over and just only looking into the positive? I am looking into the negative side too. There are some negatives onto AMC that I see. We did get a negative candle. Is that a negative side? No, not really. I'm looking at that was our movement is still in the positive. It's still in the positive. If we had gone down to the $27, we would, if we closed at the $27, that is showing to the hedge funds we are not in control, but we did close above that. And that is a great sign, meaning that there is a lot of buying pressure going on to AMC. What I was hoping for, if a hammer candle came into AMC, boom, that would be a huge hit. Could we see a hammer candle onto AMC Monday? I really don't want to go through the pain, but it would be a great sign. Honestly, it's a great sign to see a hammer candle go. Now, that said, definitely subscribe, like this video, and if you're buying more AMC, definitely put down in the comments. And if you liked that Peter Hann and how I had that going on, definitely put it into the comments. That said, hey, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's as well to everyone out there, and hopefully you guys are having a great day and a great time with your family. Blah, 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 and peace out.